The dining room shimmered under the chandelier's soft glow, the light fracturing across polished wood like fragments of patience. 2 taper candles flickered, small, trembling hearts in a quiet room that no longer felt alive. The unopened Merlot sat in the center of the table, its label staring back at me like an accusation. The clock ticked past 8. Each second stabbed at my composure, steady and merciless. I realigned the silverware again, military precision, mechanical motion. Because when the brain senses uncertainty, it clings to order. Ritual becomes anesthesia. Tonight was our 5th anniversary. And Sarah was late. Not just late, absent. Her text, sent 2 hours ago, pulsed like static in my mind. Running late, babe. Out with the girls. Forgot it was tonight. Sorry, red heart. Forgot. The word hit like a nerve shock, fast, involuntary, cruel. Weeks of planning, of rehearsing her favorite duck confit recipe, of filling the kitchen with rosemary and anticipation, all rewired now into something acidic. The reward system in my brain, dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin, all short-circuited. My hand brushed against the velvet box in my pocket. Inside, the sapphire pendant, meant to rest against her collarbone, now pressed against my thigh like a reminder of everything I misunderstood. The apartment felt sentient. Too quiet. Too still. That kind of silence that hums under your skin, vibrating at the same frequency as anxiety. I poured a glass of water. The sound of ice cubes clinking felt louder than breath. My phone sat on the table, its black screen blank and hostile. No new messages. But my mind kept scrolling anyway, through fragments of her recent behavior like pieces of a neural autopsy. The late nights at the firm. The phone flipped face down. The laughter that felt scripted. I'd blame stress, exhaustion, deadlines, anything but what my gut already knew. The limbic system doesn't lie. You can ignore it, but it never stops signaling. The duck cooled on the plate. I stood, pacing. My heartbeat synced with the rhythm of my footsteps, sharp and rhythmic like a ticking bomb. Outside, the city skyline sparkled, usually romantic, now sterile, distant, unreachable. I called her again. Straight to voicemail. Her voice, that voice, chipper, recorded, detached. Hey, it's Sarah. Leave a message. But it sounded like a stranger. I didn't leave one. Instead, I opened the group chat with her friends, the one she'd added me to last summer. My thumbs hovered, trembling. Hey, is Sarah with you guys? Just checking in. Minutes crawled. No reply. The wax from the candles dripped and hardened, tiny monuments to a patience dying in real time. Instagram opened next. Reflex, not intention. Her last story, a smiling selfie at the office, captioned, "Another late night." Her eyes told a different story, pupils blown wide, fatigue masking detachment. Then my thumb froze over a name, Jake Morrison. Private profile. Bio, Creative Director NYC. Living for the moment. My pulse spiked. The phrase, living for the moment, felt suddenly obscene. 2 weeks ago, a photo. Sarah at a bar, laughing, a man's arm looped casually around her shoulders. Caption, work hard, play hard. Back then, it was nothing. Now, it was evidence. The doorbell buzzed. Sharp. Jarring. My whole nervous system snapped awake, heart rate doubled, adrenaline spilling into my bloodstream like floodwater. Sarah. It had to be Sarah. But when I opened the door, it was Emily, her best friend. Rain in her hair. Eyes red. lips pressed tight, as if holding back a truth too heavy to speak. "Mark," she whispered. "We need to talk." The words triggered an almost chemical dread. I felt it in my stomach first, that hollow drop before bad news, when cortisol begins its ascent. "Is she okay?" I asked. "Where is she?" Emily stepped inside, clutching her purse like a life raft. "She's fine," she said quietly. "Physically." The qualifier sliced through me. She looked around, the set table, the candles, the untouched meal, and her voice broke. "She's not with us, Mark. She hasn't been with us in weeks." The sound of that sentence rearranged my whole body. My breathing fractured. My hands went cold. "What are you talking about?" "She's been out with you every Friday." Emily's eyes filled. She lied. "She's been seeing someone. Jake. From her office." "Jake." "The profile. The arm in the photo." "I saw them together last month," she said. "At a bar in Soho. They didn't see me. I confronted her, she begged me not to tell you. Said it was a mistake. Said she'd end it." My mind stuttered. Every neuron misfiring. Every memory retroactively poisoned. "How long? How long?" I managed to ask. Emily hesitated. "A few months. Maybe more." "I'm sorry, Mark. I thought she'd come clean." The heat rose in me, anger, grief, disbelief, an emotional chemical storm, the hypothalamus flooding signals through my veins. My vision tunneled. Everything, every touch, every laugh, felt counterfeit now. "Why tell me now?" I asked, voice raw. Her next words were quiet, trembling. "Because she's with him. Right now. I saw her story. She deleted it, but they're at the Blue Haven Hotel." The room seemed to tilt. My hands went numb. The blood left my fingertips. Blue Haven. 2 blocks away. I stood, grabbed my coat. The velvet box still sat in my pocket, now a cruel joke, pressing against me like a wound that wouldn't clot. "Mark, wait," she started. But I was already gone. The night air hit hard. Rain slicked the streets, reflecting neon in red and blue streaks. My chest burned, too much oxygen, not enough peace. By the time I reached the Blue Haven, my heart wasn't beating, it was pounding in a rhythmic panic. The lobby glowed warm and golden. Jazz hummed through the air. People laughed softly, oblivious to how the world could collapse so quietly. I scanned the bar. And there she was. Sarah. Seated at a corner table. Her hair catching the dim light. Her hand resting on his. Jake leaned close, whispering something that made her laugh. That laugh, the one I used to think belonged to me, ripped through me like static through glass. My vision narrowed. My throat closed. The brain protects itself in moments like this. It slows time, dulls sound, numbs sensation. But I felt everything. Her eyes lifted. Met mine. And in that instant, everything between us died. Her smile evaporated. She stood, knocking over her glass, wine spilling like blood across the white tablecloth. "Mark," she breathed. "I can explain. But explanation is meaningless once the body has processed the truth. The dopamine dies. The oxytocin cuts out. You stop loving not by choice, but by neurochemical shutdown." I turned away. She called my name once, then again, but her voice was swallowed by the hum of the city outside. The rain hit my skin cold and sharp as I walked into it. My pulse slowed, but my chest still burned. In my pocket, the sapphire pendant pressed harder. A symbol. A relic. A mistake. The city blurred, the lights bending through tears I refused to acknowledge. And somewhere between the hotel and home, the realization hit, clean, surgical, final. She didn't just forget tonight. She'd been forgetting us for months. When someone forgets what you never stopped remembering, that's not an accident, it's emotional erosion. Your nervous system always knows before your mind admits it. Listen to it. And if you've ever stood in the rain with your truth bleeding out, you know, some goodbyes don't need words. Subscribe. Because the next chapter isn't revenge. It's resurrection.